It's time for the Dark Matter After Show here on AfterBuzz TV. We are talking Season 3, Episode 10, Built, Not Born. Stick around.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hello and welcome to the Dark Matter After Show here on AfterBuzz TV.
Yeah!
We're talking Dark Matter, Season 3, Episode 10, Built, Not Born. Welcome. Our calm-down panel. If you haven't already, go to youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV. Subscribe. We're also on iTunes, SoundCloud. Subscribe everywhere. And we have a live chat if you're watching us live. Natalee is in the live chat. Hello.
Hi guys, I'm Natalee. You can find me at Natalee Dyer, Natalee on all social media platforms. I'm in the chat. Say hi.
Awesome.
Andrew's here.
I'm here. My name's Andrew Mena. You can find me on Twitter at Andrew Mena, or if you want to find me on Instagram, it's the Andrew Mena, because it's very, very titular.
Ooh, fancy. I'm just Tauri J. You can find me at Tauri J. Tauri Jay. Don't you?
Yeah, I don't see any reason why not.
It's true.
Okay. This episode was full of answers.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys know this, but I love answers.
Yeah.
I get very impatient and need answers.
Do you? Oh. I feel like this is maybe the first time we're all experiencing that.
Okay.
Okay.
So we start the episode with Victor calls for help. By the end of the episode, I hate him.
I never really liked him, so.
How dare you?
Whoa.
It's true.
always just
We're
a
not allowed to have opinions on the show. We're
You're allowed
supposed
to have
just...
opinions. They just can't be different from mine.
Got it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, you gotta
listen, I
state
liked
yours
him for, like-
early.
Yes, that's why I
That's true.
lead.
Yeah, okay. Well, I liked him for like a split second, way back when, but then he got sketched to me, and especially as soon as this episode started, I was like, nope, there's something going on with you,
Yeah.
like immediately.
Andrew?
Yeah, I don't really have a problem with him. I mean, he's obviously that, you know, he's flawed in that way. He's gonna do violent things to get his means, to get his ends. He's a robot. That's what happened. Did we not see Terminator?
Whoa.
Did we not see Terminator, you guys?
Turning into 3 right now.
I'm just throwing it out there. Maybe some of his feelings are justified because he's seen Sci-Fi before. He knows what genre he's in. I'm just throwing it out there. He's the only one who seems to have a sense about robots. Obviously, they're going to try real hard. I'm sure Dr. Shaw worked real hard to make sure that that's not a thing that would happen. But I don't know, you guys.
I don't think she did.
Okay.
I don't think she did try to not make it happen.
I think she's definitely on the side of android liberation. Like, she wants them to be like fully fledged rebellious people.
I agree, but does she want them to murder all humanity?
Yes.
Is she cool
So
with
I
that?
think so.
Okay. All right.
Because of the, I guess we're all jumping around. That's fine. Because of when she gives to the override protocol for Dwarf Star, at that moment I went, well, she wants them to go and finish taking them all out. She wants to kill a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Well,
be.
Technically,
Could
I think
be.
she just wanted the freedom of the person that she loved.
It
But
does
also that.
It does
Yeah.
seem possible that she would overlook the whole them having to commit mass genocide thing. You know, she'd just be like, "No, robots, they're just gonna get free. They're just gonna pull those bars apart, and then they're good."
Right. Well,
That's
I think
a terrible version of her accent, but that was her accent.
No, it was great. It was
no,
perfect.
Yeah, if you close your eyes,
We'll talk about the accent in a second. Tari.
no, it's like this. It's like,
Can we
I'm
please
Dr.
talk
Shaw.
I mean, all revolutions have what one could call collateral damage. And so, I mean, you could imagine that if she is a pioneer of this revolution, then she just sees it as necessary sacrifices to make sure that the androids are free by the end of it. I mean, history is told by the winners, and she wants to be on the winning side.
Fair.
Not to say that, she's opportunist, but, she knows that when she wins, she'll be able to write the narrative however she wants.
Also true.
All right, so Victor and his androids, right? We meet Ruek, who Victor takes out his chip, and then Ruek kills himself. Anya
Very sad scene.
kills herself.
Yeah.
At that point, I was like, we're not gonna question Victor at this point.
Right?
2 of your team members.
Right.
I didn't. That was my bad.
You didn't question him?
So the first time I watched, I missed him taking out the chip.
Same.
The second time I watched it, I caught it and was like, wait a second. I should have seen this.
At first, I thought it was like a ceremonial thing, and I was like, "Oh, he's removing their chip to have a funeral with, or something." Or I don't know. I didn't know what I thought, and then I was like, "No, he's evil." That's my second.
So we meet Dr. Irina Shaw, who used to work for Dwarf Star. We meet. Did anyone else notice that Chase was the boy bot?
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
And they mentioned it.
Yeah,
in
they
the,
did.
Yeah.
I know. I just got so excited
I
because I,
really-
missed
To be
boy
fair,
bot.
it took a minute to place why I knew his face.
I
I was like, why do I know this guy?
I was like, this guy looks like a boy
they
bot.
haven't met him before.
definitely liked him. I was like, "Oh, I like this Robo guy."
I really
Chase.
like that every time we see this actor, he's a pleasant boy bot.
Yeah.
I want to meet more of him, especially when he throws out that there are hundreds of him out there.
That's true.
I was like, well, maybe we'll get one for 5.
He's the
Right.
Officer Jenny of this world.
Oh, yes.
So ready for that. just a whole flood of them.
So we find out that the android's name is in fact Suki.
Suki.
Yes?
Huh?
You
Are
have
you
something
sad
you'd like
about
to say?
that?
I believe it's pronounced Suki.
What did I say?
Suki.
Yeah. Like,
Suki.
Salute.
And
not
like,
to be confused with Suki from
True
True
Blood.
Blood.
Oh, you
Right.
mean
Colin.
you mean Suka? That's how they say it in that
Yeah.
show,
Yeah.
and that's
Suka.
definitely not this show.
and not to be confused with Suki in Gilmore Girls.
Oh, yep.
No,
Right.
certainly
Yeah.
not.
I like that. 2 things. I like that Chase was like, I forget how he pronounced it. He was like, suck it. And I was like, no. Also, I like that her name is Suki, as in like ski, Japanese for like to like or to love, things of that sort. Because she is a facsimile created of someone's love, which I thought that was a cute little thing.
It's a nice little thing.
There were too many feels in this episode.
Yeah. I was giving
the
Tauri
chat.
a hard time for saying something about his feelings on Twitter.
It's true.
What's happening in the chat?
What's
Well,
happening?
Oh,
What are your
okay. I was
feelings?
just about to talk about my feelings.
I mean, would
Exactly.
you like to talk about your feelings? You
no,
can totally
I don't
do that.
have them anymore.
Good.
Feelings shut down.
Okay.
Oh, dang
well,
it.
Melozy is in the chat. He's
Cool.
Asking a bunch of rhetorical questions, which is so
Oh, she does.
helpful.
He likes
Like
to do
what?
that.
So
What are the
helpful.
rhetorical
Like,
questions?
how far would you go to safeguard the people you love?
So far.
Very far.
Is that? Oh, was it rhetorical?
Wait,
Sorry.
is it like distance-wise?
Yeah. Like
Yes. About a
Like
mile and a half.
like a drive. Like
Yes.
What, do I have a
20
car?
Morally,
I have
maybe?
questions.
Is there a
Depends.
metro
Yes.
system? that's
If I am
better
on the
than-
bus, 3 miles. If I am in a car, 10 miles.
Okay.
If I am walking, 1.5 miles.
I have follow-up questions. Go on. What else does he have?
Can we just ask Robotari things the rest of the
That's
show?
the main question from him. We also have a lot of people in the chat who are really excited to hear your opinions on 2 and
And Dr. Shaw?
yes.
Okay. Before we talk about that,
Right.
Yes.
we have to talk about the accent, because we have to.
Sure.
Yes.
I love Zoe Palmer. Everyone knows this. Zoe is amazing and was wonderful on Lost Girl, has been amazing as the android. We've seen so many different sides of her, different versions of her. Dr. Shaw's accent drew me so far out of the episode
Yeah.
that I went, what is this?
Why did you not like the accent?
Accent, yeah.
Are you still in Robo voice?
Yes.
Oh,
All
okay.
emotion is gone.
It
Would you
just
like-
distracted me from enjoying like the whole montage where she doesn't speak. What's the question?
Oh, she's from the UK. I was like, I thought she
Zoe
was
Palmer
from
was
Canada.
born in England.
Well,
Just-
you might want to visit.
Oh!
So,
Burn acknowledged.
I'm off.
I almost detected like it almost was like a wavering UK, like New Zealand, like there was some stuff going on. There's a little.
Yeah.
she
Yes.
moved when she was 9, so
So come on, Yael, give her some slack.
I also had a different accent when I was a child. That doesn't mean I can do it now.
wait,
Try
what accent
it.
did you have
I
as
know
a child?
I really can't. It was a Boston accent. I can't do it.
What?
So.
Oh my God! Everyone, tweet at Yael. Have her relearn this accent. We need
Yeah,
it.
I want to hear this.
Next episode
can't
is going to
do
be
that.
entirely in that accent.
Yep.
What is the soup that is made of cream and clams? I forget the name of it.
Chowder.
Chowder.
So. Anyway,
This is the best show.
The whole montage where we see this history of Dr. Shaw and Rebecca was
Yes.
so beautiful.
It was.
And until we woke her up and she spoke, I was 100% in it.
Until she ruined it with that accent.
Yeah,
Oh.
I'm awful.
It's just, and it's also just because you're like very deep into the Zoe Palmer like fandom, and like you've heard a million different voices from her
Yes.
already.
Yeah.
So when one doesn't work for you, it really doesn't work for you.
I think so, but it also was that I wasn't expecting
That's fair.
that specifically. I don't know what I was, but that was not what I was expecting.
You know what's funny is I don't think it registered in my mind until like a few scenes later, and then I was like, wait, that's an accent.
It honestly grew on me. I had the same reaction you did, where I was like, come on now, girl, you could have done it better than that. But then as I kind of continued, I think I know why she chose it. It's like you know, you want to talk about like stereotypes. It has like a knowledge to it. You're like, oh, this is a knowledgeable person. And it has like, and she like whispered half of the lines, so there was this weight to everything she said. She felt like the character who's like, America, I'm going to save you. There's only one way, and you're just like, oh, okay, great, let's do it.
Even that accent
Also,
was better.
to be fair, wait,
I'll be Zoe Palmer next season.
to be fair, it is the future, so the accent wouldn't be what you would expect it to be.
That is
true.
fair.
That is true.
So that's like English mixed with like China has taken over.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
like in
it
Firefly.
could, yeah.
Actually, it's probably Japan in this universe if everyone's like,
Right, yes,
she's named Soki.
that is true.
There's a lot of Japanese. Let's talk about. Can we talk about that
Yes,
later?
you can
Do
talk
wanna-
about it now.
Okay.
Take the show.
I'm so interested in this though.
We have a
'cause
robot and a
Which the chat is telling you to take the upgrade, Tauri.
Take the upgrade.
the
Take the upgrade.
I can take the upgrade. Do you have it handy?
no, I didn't bring
Okay,
it.
hold on.
I'm not
Oh,
I have this space word.
How about
upgrade
this?
that you can-
Thank you.
You take the
Oh.
upgrade. You lead. Go.
But he brings up an interesting point just about the universe and where we're at. We talked about Earth Prime. The world that we know is 600 years
Yeah.
ago. So where did society go? We do have a lot of like Easter eggs of Japanese, words and phrases and stuff like that. Mikkei maybe even sounds like a Japanese corporation.
Yeah.
So I feel like there is a lot of that maybe, and I think that's probably something that Malozzi himself is kind of.
Malozzi, a fan of Japanese culture.
It seems
What?
impossible, but maybe these connections could mean something. So I just feel like it's interesting to think about where that is and what that means. And is Zyron like analogous to a culture, like an actual culture, or is it just like it's just one line of royalty who is just like, we're gonna have a planet now?
Well, I mean, based off of what you were saying, like it does seem like Zyron is so influential that you could imagine that in the space race, maybe Japan was one of the first ones to start colonizing, which means that like a lot of the I guess colonization from then on was essentially residual from their influence. And so like there are a lot of isms, just like we were talking last week when Android was like, "You're a salary man." It was very much
Yes,
like a Japanese
absolutely.
influence thing. So you could imagine that like they're the taste makers in terms of colonization.
I like that.
Yeah.
I want to talk also a little bit about Android and her feelings once we met Dr. Shaw.
Yeah.
And the fact that she realized that her purpose was to be the body for this being. Yes, Natalie.
It was so emotional.
It was. She was so looking forward to meeting her creator, to doing this with Victor, and to like understand her purpose. And then her purpose is to hold space for someone else.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
What does Robot Tauri think?
Well, sorry guys, I've had the upgrade.
Yeah.
so-
Oh,
Like that
right.
for
I'm a
her.
real
I'm sorry, it
smooth.
doesn't make you less of a robot.
That's true. But I'm Robrotari now. And
Oh, no.
I must say that, I mean, I really did enjoy Android's like crisis of identity. Though, like, if you were to try to find kind of an analogous thing, you could imagine that she is almost like a Christy kind of figure. Where like it's just hold
Go on.
just
No, yeah.
Go
hold
on.
on,
Hold
we're
the
hold on,
arguments.
guys.
We're
Let's go.
suspending the disbelief.
Okay. In that, like, Christ was created to be a vessel or the representation of God on earth. And she is essentially, that's why when she was talking about it, she's like, I was created for a greater purpose. And to further the advancement of this way of thinking, which is what Shaw had created her for, and then ultimately found a distance from that original purpose. So it's like if a Christ figure were to be created for the sole purpose of evangelizing, but then never received the message of what they were supposed to do, and then later found out that that's what they were, which I think is an interesting perspective to look at it from. Not to say that was the intent,
wasn't that how I mean, not to, sorry, but isn't that totally how it went? Didn't he not find out until he was like 33 or something? And then he was like, oh gosh, or no, he was like told when he was like 10, and then spent 15 years in the desert, like trying to figure it out. 18 years in the desert. Yeah, I don't pretend to know the Bibli.
He was 12.
I don't even know how you say that word.
Spent 18 years in the desert. Came back when he was 30.
Okay, great.
Yes.
So yeah, it took him a long time though. I know he like was piddling around building stuff out of wood.
Right.
So I just have heard this story secondhand, you guys. Tweet at me, Jesus stories for real. No, don't do that. Yeah, but I think that's really interesting. Like a really interesting point that she would be created just for this higher purpose, and that she would have to give up herself, give up her essence in order to like to fulfill her purpose.
I really appreciate though that it was brought into point that they've been there before. That Rebecca came and tried to give her nanites and save her, and it didn't work. And that when she saw what Android had become, she was like, I'm not gonna do this. So it's acknowledged that that's not still the plan.
Right.
Good.
But now we see that the upgraded nanites may or may not have worked.
Well.
Okay.
Yes.
Huh?
Did you have something to add?
No, not to that. I really want to talk about Rebecca and Portia, but like I want to finish this out before I do that.
Talk about Rebecca and Portia.
Okay. I mean, so I really liked the story about Shaw, Rebecca, Portia.
It was Rebecca at that point.
Yes,
Yeah.
Rebecca and Shaw and their whole relationship. Though I feel like it was a little bit of retconning to what we knew about that character. So like we had, I want to say it was second season, when we met Dwarf Star, and we kind of got her backstory that she was this abused android, and then like became Portia from there.
I believe we met Dr. Will Wheaton in season 1.
Okay, yes.
Rook,
Yes.
also known as Dr. Will Wheaton.
Right, of course.
More commonly known throughout the galaxy.
Go on.
And so now the like with the retcon, I wonder, it makes me wonder more how Rebecca became Portia, in that like she went from being a captive to being essentially part of this giant revolution and being in love, and maybe it was seeing her girlfriend, I don't know if they had labels, like have this inoperable tumor and go into storage that like made her hard, but I don't know where that turn happened.
So I'm going to try to piece together this timeline.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it was definitely put in properly.
Okay.
So we saw that Rebecca was built in Dwarf Star by Dr. Will Wheaton. Now we know that also Dr. Shaw was part of this.
Right.
And when she escaped, we saw a very quick scene last season where she sees that big tower, and then later we have the art of the big tower, which
Right.
is on Earth. So this time we hear the story is that she escaped but had to go looking for Dr. Shaw.
Okay.
And that they realized they couldn't take her to the apartment, so then they found this place. So I think she escaped, was stuck looking around for help, found Dr. Shaw, made it to this place, saw her partner get sick and die, turned into Portia.
Okay. But like where in that, I guess since she was made to be a weapon, maybe that kind of is a reason why she is like so willing to kill, but I just don't feel like I feel like now I have less of a reason to believe that she would go from
Oh, dude, I just think that she unlocked it for you. I think right there, she had to sit there and like her strength is hurting people, right?
Right.
Like putting the hurt on people. Her love is dying. She can't do nothing but sit there and watch. And for like an android, she's sitting there for millennia in her like little mind. So that is just the worst pain. And she sits there like it's the classic like turning over tables because you can't do nothing to help except hurt stuff. So I think you got it. I think that's it.
Well, okay. I think that when she escaped from Dwarf Star, right? Dr. Shaw said she helped her. She gave her the protocol to do it, to get out. So she helped her with that first fighty, anger weapony. But as we get to the memories, the android's memories, I think it was the third memory where we unlocked what turned Rebecca into Portia, and we will get to that in a second.
Sure. Melosi says, what made her hard? Well, maybe we'll get another piece to that puzzle in episode 312.
Ah, come on.
Yeah.
Cool.
Maybe. I would love it if we absolutely don't.
There's nothing, yeah.
Like, what about 312? That's where it is.
He also says Dr. Shaw was part of the team that created her. She was forced off of the project, and the rest of the team proceeded without her. Separated from her, she helped orchestrate her escape.
Yeah.
So
is that not what I meant?
It was,
okay.
but I'm being you
corrected.
I think you missed the part that Shaw was technically like fired or let go beforehand, and there was like that separation for a while.
Which is why she couldn't find her when she escaped.
Right.
I want to take a moment,
please,
before we get into the memories that we got from the android.
Okay.
To thank our fans. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. We ask you to do a very simple thing. Go to iTunes, subscribe, and rate and review. If you like us, you can give us 5 stars. And if you don't like us, you can give us 4 stars. The other stars, they do
not work.
I love that this panel has finally
figured it out.
Yeah. The other stars don't work. We're never going to fix it. So there you go.
Nope.
If you write us a review and bang on your keyboard and give us 5 and or 4 stars, we'll read it live on the air in Tari's sexy voice. But before that, I want to take a moment to thank our wonderful sponsors.
Let's talk about arts and entertainment. That's A&E, you guys. That channel is a wonderful channel, full of wonderful programs, and one that you should be aware of that's going on pretty soon, and by pretty soon I mean now, is Leah Remini's Scientology and the Aftermath. This is 10 all-new episodes of an Emmy-nominated, groundbreaking docuseries starring Leah Remini, Scientology and the Aftermath. It returns on August 15th, so it's already here. It's happening now. Or is it not? I don't know what day it is. Day? Is it the 15th? Not yet. So it's coming. It's coming soon. Forgive me. I'm elsewhere. Time traveler. This season she continues her quest to give a voice to victims of this Church of Scientology as she tells these true stories. She helps people take action, turning survivors into fighters, just like we do here on Dark Matter. Tying it all in. Revealing truths and seeking justice. Watch the first season on demand and in the A&E app, you guys. Consideration. Do talk about it, because the audience, you guys will love Leah. She admires bravery, and she's the face of the movement. So get it out there that this is a thing that people can do. You can talk about it. You can become another Leah Remini success story. Check it out, you guys. DocuSeries A&E. It's happening right now.
Thanks.
Nice.
We do not have any new reviews.
Bum, bum, bum.
You know what the consequences
are. Before you do.
Oh, no.
I want to remind everyone.
I don't know what the consequences
You should.
This is now.
Here's the thing. When we have reviews, Tauri reads them live on the air with his sexy voice. Let's hear some of that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so pleasing for my ears.
It's real nice. And we have music that usually goes with it. It's gorgeous. When you don't, we get stuck with something else, which he's not going to do unless he has something actual to say. So let's talk about the android's memory.
Okay, let's talk about the android's memory.
So the first memory is 2 taking over the Raza, and because they don't want the android, which was, I think, the best. I love that we got to see that moment.
Yeah, I was really excited.
Because we never established how she got the ship.
Right.
That's
we heard,
how.
Well, I mean, we heard that she'd killed the leader or
Jasper
kicked him off
and
or
someone
something.
else.
So
yeah, but we
we knew it happened. We just didn't get to see it, and I just loved that 3 numbers. Not my strong suit, guys.
3 just sitting there eating.
Yeah,
I was
just
really
the entire time. I loved it.
It felt so accurate.
Yes.
Yeah.
I also loved how unprepared those two dudes were. They were like, "We're gonna put hands on you and look real scary." Oh no! We're putting hands on you made you turn into a murder machine. How are we to know? Only your reputation.
Well, no, did she have a reputation at that point? Or was that?
I guess not.
Yeah.
All right, then they were just dumb.
At that point,
Yeah.
they were like,
Space
we don't
dude's
want your
dumb.
android on the ship. And she was like, here are logistical reasons that it makes sense. And they went, not good enough. And she went, oh, okay.
Okay, well then it's not your ship anymore.
Yeah, I tried to
Yeah.
be reasonable.
Yeah, you saw it. You saw it.
Yeah.
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 I like the three that was sitting there.
Yeah.
I miss that guy.
To just
Boone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Boone. Just shoot people. I miss that guy.
I mean, he's around now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's consolidated into the one person, one personality. I know you don't have to like it, but it's
well,
happening.
And that Boone, or not specifically that Boone, but Alt Boone is that Boone, and he's
Yeah.
just like chilling out, making out with
Yeah.
Portia.
He's that Boone up till 11. Though.
Oh, yeah.
He's like super that Boone.
Uh huh.
I know I like him. All right. So the second memory that we have is this scene with 5 and 2. Apparently, after we chose not to space her, and the nanovirus has been set to reveal the hidden subroutines in the android, and we have this moment where we have like 2, and she's like, but her eyes, and she's like, she's a machine. No, she's not.
It was very
all
sweet.
She's not.
It was very sweet.
Yeah. No. Period. She's not. I like
not.
that a lot. That was really good.
Too many feels.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting to see Andrew going from like everybody saw her as android, like she's just an android, and throughout this episode, like there's several points where it's like you can't just call her an android. Well, no, because she's special. So it's very cool to see her become like more of a human, even though technically she's not. Like they see her as one.
I like that 5 was getting real sassy with 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, you were a bitch.
Super bitch, I thought she
That was
said.
Yeah.
so good.
And I expected Portia to turn around and be like, I could still shoot you in the face.
Yeah, right? Like,
You're not. Yeah, you're not safe yet, bro. Calm down.
she was like, fair? I think she said something like, okay, I guess so.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's like, I accept it. Like, whoa, okay,
use that
Portia,
term.
damn.
And then the third memory, which at first felt like it was, I was like, really? We're watching Rio made her some chocolate pudding? Like, that's what we're watching in this third memory? That was not what the memory was. It was a trap. I felt tricked.
The memory was the
The
trap.
memory was
I
a
felt-
trap?
Yes, I
Go
felt.
on.
Okay, so I'm watching it. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna write down the memories. I'm like, all right, she eats pudding. No, that wasn't it. So he says to her that she's one of them, but then 2 comes in and is talking about Nova 17 is the location of the manufacturing facility. The Galactic Authority is in Rook's pocket. Rook is Dr. Will Wheaton. And that they will be, if they succeed, they'll be heading off a full-scale invasion. They got to finish cleaning up the mess they're working on for Ferris Core. And then she says, we're going to deal with Griff first. And I believe that was the name that 6 was using.
Yeah.
So it's a memory. See what I'm saying? When I was like, it's about chocolate pudding. It's
I
not.
just was like, it's pudding. It's cute. Like he's trying to teach her how to act like a human or something.
Well, she says my awkwardness amuses you.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, you're not an android. You're one of us.
Yeah. She also insulted him. She was like, "You guys are unscrupulous garbage people."
Yes.
I know.
But you treat me nice, and he's like, "Okay, it's because you're
One of
garbage
us."
just like us."
Yeah. But that wasn't the memory, guys. That
Yes.
wasn't the important stuff.
Yeah, it's everything basically leading up to the pilot. Essentially, like right before, like
Right.
right after
Yeah.
that scene, you could imagine they're like, "All right, let's go into stasis," and then the pilot starts. Yes.
I think there was a little bit between then.
No.
Nope, it
They
could
like,
happen.
Because they were about to kill 6, and so you could
but-
imagine that 5 was like right in the back corner when they said that, and she's like, typity type, memory wipes, and then they're like, stasis time, and then
but if
Were
they
they
were
stasis?
about to
They just
kill-
fall asleep.
And
places,
one was
right?
sneaking in there, yeah.
No, but what if they were, sorry, just to correct your timeline here.
okay,
Well.
all right.
If their plan was, we'll deal with killing this guy first. Oh, let's go to stasis pod. You're missing a step.
What's that step?
They were on their way to kill someone. Yes?
Teragram says the Rio we saw was pre-memory wipe,
Yeah.
which means that he was a good person.
He was fine.
Well,
He was still a murderer.
They were still, they were still the most
murderers.
wanted people in the galaxy.
you mean he's a
True.
good
Okay.
person
Well,
because he
and
made
also-
chocolate pudding for the android?
yeah.
Well, he was being nice to her.
When you're nice,
He likes the
you're
android.
absolved.
Yeah.
Okay.
He said
fine.
to her,
You know
I've
what?
always liked you.
Yeah.
Melosi also says, I'm saying there are no good or evil characters on this show.
Except for Misaki.
And now we're
She's-
going to get a poor, misunderstood Misaki in our...
Yep, it's gonna
Yeah.
happen. Wait for it.
You mean feels? I don't like feels.
She's real poor and misunderstood.
I suppose.
Okay. Let's talk about, speaking of the android, this whole episode's about her, which is really funny because this episode was a lot about 2, but it felt more about the android than 2.
I
Yes.
loved that it was about the android.
Yeah. I appreciate all of the, like, questions being answered. I do like
You
that.
do like answers.
So we have this scene where 3 and the android are talking, because the whole episode, 3 really is a problem with robots. He's like, I just don't trust them. I get it.
It's almost like his reasoning's founded somewhere.
Yeah, well, so he picked up that the Galactic Authority was gonna, when they showed up, he was like, I think we should blame the androids. He, like, picked up that something was going on. And when he has this scene with the android at the end, he's like, because he's admitted that she's special, and he's given her whiskey, and it sounds like an apology. And I love the moment where she says, you tend to speak your mind without thinking of the consequences. And we have that in common. And it's one of those things I like about you. That was the only feelsy moment I liked.
It is the one way you are like a robot.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about Sarah.
Okay.
Bom, bom, bom.
Sarah's got a body.
Nice.
Da,
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 da.
da.
Sarah's got a body.
Good job.
Da, da,
Good job picking the song.
Sarah's...
Pick the wrong song.
Yep.
Yeah.
We had a better song, but we were holding on to it.
It's true.
Yep.
It was in our hearts. The
It
whole
was in our
time.
hearts. That was off the heart, you guys.
So, Android or 3 convinces Sarah that she should go into an android body.
Yeah.
Which I feel like after the beginning of the episode, where it's like, I don't trust them. If I were her, I'd be like, yeah, I don't know that you're gonna love me. You know what I mean?
Very true.
Her first thought should have been like, I see what you're saying. I totally think it's a good idea, but I have a feeling you will stop loving me.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally like he was like, I'm afraid of sharks. And she was like, oh my God, I'm going to get me a shark body. Honey, like, this is a bad idea, hun. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, he's not going to take it well.
Even though it was his idea.
Yeah.
Well, kind of his idea.
Inadvertently his idea.
Even though he
He
presented
agreed
it.
with
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Though I feel like for her, the idea of him not loving her is eclipsed by the idea of like escaping her virtual prison. And like even if he doesn't love her, she's still alive enough to go find something new.
Yeah.
So like the benefits highly outweigh the risks.
Okay.
That's my feeling. I don't. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's better off for her, like, especially if she is able to get the free will unit and, like, have, like, a life as an android, then totally, like, great, good for her. But, like, I almost feel like her character is so far gone in this, like, weird, obsessive kind of manipulation of her environment that is becoming kind of this sense of, like, power. And when she got in that body and she, like, looked at her hand, she's like, oh, this feels good. And you're like, you don't want someone to say that unless they're, like, Bruce Willis, like, about to go save people with no shoes on. You're like, oh, please go save people, but don't. I don't know. It was very uneasy where you're like, oh, I think you're gonna rip someone's spine out or something. That's bad.
Well, I mean, you have to, in context, I mean, the last time she had a body, it was sickly and dying.
That's
so
fair.
the idea of her being like,
She does
oh
say
man,
healthy. She's like, I feel healthy.
Healthy.
yeah.
Which is a thing. I
think she said
still
strong,
don't
too. I
trust
don't
her
know.
fully, so I don't like
Yeah.
releasing her on the world. Like,
I didn't like her in the ship to begin with.
right? But then now we're like, oh, here's a body that's super powerful, and go have fun.
I'm bummed we didn't get the android or the Sarah consciousness inside the
yeah.
ship. That's like, I am the ship now, and that would have been so fun.
That would have been terrifying.
It was so
Absolutely.
great.
But what we would have had such, you guys, think of the Home Alone episode we could have had where everyone leaves the ship, but then Five's all alone, and then people come on the ship, and then Sarah helps her murder them all.
We had that.
yeah.
We had an episode where
But-
Five was all alone and the people were on the ship.
I
and
feel like
they're
we've had a
trying to
couple
murder
of
her.
ones like
Yeah.
that. So.
But it could have
And
been with
Sarah
Joe
helped her.
Pesci,
Yeah,
is what I'm
I
getting
see.
at.
That's true.
Yeah.
There weren't any paint cans swinging
this
from the
is
ceiling.
this is what I'm saying.
You know.
I think at the end when we see this moment where it's Shaw and Chase and Victor and Sarah in her body, and they're like, "You're one of us now, but also you're more dangerous because you have a human brain in an indestructible kind of body." I think that in a minute we'll go into predictions because I have lots of thoughts. But
Yeah.
I didn't trust Sarah to begin with.
You trust her less now.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
because at this point she's like, well, he's never gonna love me, so I'm gonna stay with these people.
I feel like she's more of a prisoner now.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think she woke up and was kind of a prisoner, but is now going to take lead.
Got it. Okay.
I think I agree with you, but
Yeah.
it's not gonna stay that way. She's gonna be like, oh, I'm liberating these people. Yeah. Any final thoughts on the episode before we head into predictions? Or should we just watch that beautiful montage of Sean too again?
I just want to point out that in addition to the Android in 3's chat, there was an Android in 5 chat where Android was like, 5 was like, we would, like, it doesn't matter. We would be lost without you.
Yeah, and there's the moment where Chase, the non-boy bot, calls and is like, I'm going to fix what she wanted fixed. And 5 was like, no.
Yeah. You don't know. You're not doing that because you'll be taking her. Even if it is her choice, it's like, but you're like permanently altering.
He made a good point, though, that like, he was like, I'm not asking you. It's her choice.
Right.
Yeah,
I
but
was like,
we don't have a
no.
choice to alter, like, part of being human is not being able to alter your own feelings and
Well-
like, situations like that. Like, not by recoding
Tell me
yourself.
more about being
Right.
human.
I'm
Yes.
just saying that, like, that, so, you know what, just,
No, tell us.
Yes.
No, they
like going well,
legit need a
apparently.
lesson.
Yes.
No, they're
Tell me
asking.
about
clearly
humanity.
they need a lesson
Yeah.
on how to be a human.
I am intrigued. Please tell
No,
me
I'm
more
just
about
saying,
humanity.
We can't
Oh,
change
wow.
it. So if she really wants to be more human, then you can't really
you.
just like disregard what you like, you know, your feelings and emotions and like dial them back that way.
Yeah.
On any other show, I'd be like, wow, do you think like the android would be pissed when she finds out that she had this option? But I don't think she would. 'cause
No.
Yeah.
She's an android.
Flaws
I don't
and
know,
all.
man. I don't know. Maybe I feel like that's a good opportunity though to give her like throw us a curveball of like, what if she gets really like upset about it at like at 5? Like, just be like,
I don't think she'll get mad at 5.
I think
that's
Like,
why I think
5
it would
is
be
like
interesting for that to happen. Yeah, I don't think that would happen. That's why it would
No.
be crazy.
okay.
How could you? He kissed me, and I wanted to do it again.
Wait,
Victor
he
No,
does.
Victor.
Yeah, I was like,
Not
wait
Chase.
a second, not
Oh,
boy
that's right.
bot.
Chase called. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mixing them up.
Chase
They're
kissed
so
me
cute.
as well. It wasn't as good.
No, but I still would like to do it again to see if my impressions were correct.
Yes. Maybe at the same time, just to compare. Yes, I think that would be great.
I'm
Bring
doing a
3.
lot of reading on
Bring
the
3.
internet.
Bring 3 to my chambers.
I have lots of experiments to run. Bring as many men as you
Oh
can.
no.
And thus she turns
And-
into Wendy, the recreational bot. All right,
Oh,
let's
no.
head into predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Okay, in the promo for next week, we find, I assume we're at, wait for it, the location where the manufacturing facility is.
Yeah, Nova
possibly
17.
Nova 17, possibly.
Yes.
And they all have nanites, like 2. It's bodies with nanites, and they have fake identities. And then someone named Sergeant Morris, who may or may not be Galactic Authority, her people find 3 and 6, and she says, kill them! That's what's in the promo for next week.
Bum, bum, bum.
Okay.
Any thoughts?
Oh.
Go.
Since the name of the episode is Dwarf Star
Conspiracy. Wait a second.
Yes, this
Whoa,
is one
what?
of the items that was in the list that 5 had said.
So
It's not.
was Meet Your
None of it's going to
Creator.
be in there.
Right. So it was. So we've gotten. This is two weeks in a row where we will get pieces that were prophesied, further confirming that time isn't as malleable as we think. But also, it
on.
looks like it looks like Dwarf Star is essentially creating androids to take on like high-ranking positions so that they can manipulate the flow of things. Is what it
Yeah.
seems
Do
like.
you mean that they are making advanced biosynthetic organisms and not androids?
I don't know. Maybe
That's, I think, what you mean. Because that's what 2 is.
advanced biosynthetic
Organisms.
organisms.
Toon Droid?
Abo?
They're making toon droids.
Abo?
I like
Can we
his.
just call them like bio androids?
Okay.
Cyborgs? Are they
cyborgs.
cyborgs?
No,
You
they're
know?
not cyborgs.
Cyborgs
No.
1, 2,
They're like-
3.
They're not cyborgs.
What about like cyborgs? Like if you say it like that.
Ooh, or automatons.
Automaton.
Oh.
Yeah, I like
Okay.
automatons.
cyborgs and automatons.
Natalie,
That's how you have
any
to say it.
predictions?
For tomorrow,
Next
or
week.
next week's episode specifically,
Or the rest of the season? Or next season?
or next season, just all of the
Tell us about season
seasons.
7.
Well, we do have Jessica Bauer's prediction. She says Sarah's new body, though with the influence of Victor, will be interesting and worrisome, and the possibility of her trying to influence 3. And then Renji says, I think Sarah will die, but not sure what side she will end up like being on when that happens, because I have a feeling that our team is going to be against the android revolution in some form.
I feel like they'd absolutely support
They're
it
gonna
if
do
it
that to
wasn't
us.
just murdering people.
Right. If it was like an actual noble cause.
If it
We're
was
gonna-
like the colonies are trying to become free and rule themselves,
We'll
whereas the
definitely-
androids are killing people. We see that
Right.
when we see what actually happened with Anya's owner.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll definitely get to a Matrix or something point where they're like, humanity is the disease. We are here to eradicate them.
Yeah, which
Right.
doesn't make sense with Sarah.
Yeah.
'cause she's human.
So maybe
and
she's a
an
sleeper
android.
agent. She's going to turn at the last second and die in the sad kind of moment, but then she's going to kind of redeem herself a
I
little
kind of
bit.
want 3 to kill her.
Oh,
He has-
tragedy.
He has to do it, but then the look on her face is of gratitude, and she's like, "You've released me." And then they like share a last kiss, and she fades.
And then Anders is there to pick up the pieces.
Yeah, and Anders is there like, "Buddy, I know how that feels." And then they like go get a drink.
Okay, but we
That's
still
it.
need to know
That's all
what
we
the
see.
secret between Rio and Sarah is first.
Ah, man.
Okay, like we gotta figure out that
Yeah.
thing first.
Yeah, maybe she
before
goes
that died,
to Rio right after this, and she's like, I have to do something first. She goes on to Zyron, and she's like, I have a body now. Use it.
Oh man, no,
Stop.
What?
before you get gross about
Yes.
it, that's a really
gross.
interesting.
No, I actually
no.
believe that could happen.
Yeah, that's fair. But but you bring up a really interesting point. What if the Android Liberation Front and Zyron team up and they tag team the galaxy? Not
Ooh.
sexually. Not
I got
sexually.
so
What?
excited with where you were going.
I thought you meant like in a wrestling match.
Yes,
Like
like
they-
wrestling.
the
They
galaxy.
wrestle the
Yeah,
galaxy, and it's gonna be good.
So real
I have
slobber
a
knocker.
question.
Okay,
I
get
have
out of
a
here.
question. With the new storyline that we have for Rebecca,
Yes.
by new I mean history of
Yes.
who Rebecca
Past,
slash
The new
Portia
knowledge.
Sure.
slash 2 is alt Rebecca the same?
Oh, like alt history.
Yeah, like
Rebecca, yeah.
is her story the same? Is that how we got alt Portia? Because if that's the case, now that alt Portia is in this universe and Dr. Shaw is alive, right? Dr. Shaw was saying that she doesn't really want to put her consciousness into the android now, even if like she can live or whatever, because her Portia or her Rebecca's gone.
Right.
She doesn't have any memories of their time together, but alt Rebecca might.
I imagine it is the same because we got that the first time we met the alts. Alt android was like, I am who I am because of because of Portia. So I think that their histories are exactly the same, which means that what you're saying would be a delight.
It
I
just means
really-
like the alternate universes basically began at the point of making the choice to recover their memories or not to recover their memories, is what you're saying. Like if you're looking at it from
I mean,
time.
infinite amounts
like-
of
if-
other
if you're-
options.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
in-
think.
I mean this one specifically.
So, yeah.
it's like at that point in time, that's when this alternate
I don't
universe
think so.
would have like
I
split
think
off.
that I think Shaw's dead in that universe. I think she's super dead. But
Oh.
it wasn't at the hand like
Okay,
it
so
wasn't it wasn't in a sad circumstance. It was just like, all right, some doctor died. I don't care. I'm a robot and I got crazy needs to fulfill.
So I disagree. I think in the alt world, alt Shaw is still
Still around.
Alive.
frozen.
Still. Oh.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Because she's sick, right? So she got
Yeah.
sick. They put her in. They tried to save her with nanites. It failed. She went back in. So now that we have an upgraded 2, she put the upgraded nanites, and if that's going to save her, then Shaw is alive. Alt Portia is actually Rebecca and has the memory of their time together.
Does
then
but
they'll
does
team up.
does Alt
Not
2
team
have
up, but be together.
Right,
Yeah.
but
And
yeah,
make
but
sweet,
also,
sweet love.
that too.
but
That
does
too.
Alt but
I get that.
does
Right?
Alt
No,
2
I'm trying to get them together.
Yeah.
I
We
am
see
all
that.
for that.
Does Alt 2 have the super nanites though? Because didn't we get
No.
That's what I was
we
just
got
wondering.
the super nanites in season 1, I think, or season 2, early seasons.
Yes.
Because of a friendship quest, essentially, because of her friendship with the team of the Raza. So of course, the other portion ain't getting that shit. She's super evil. She's not gonna do any like friendship quests.
Right, but here's the new question: is that
You don't
then
think so?
could Dr. Shaw in turn give the new nanites to Alt or to Portia?
Right.
Ooh, shish.
Yes.
Which
That's
would
not
then
good.
Oh my god, my head.
Especially now that we found all these new androids with the new nanites.
Right.
So there's a chance that she could. I have an additional prediction,
Yeah. What do you
got?
and that I think that they're going to have to take out Victor, but they're not going to want to destroy all these androids, and so essentially the androids are going to set up their own colony and try to join the League of Autonomous Worlds.
Oh, I love that
That'd be cool.
prediction.
Yeah.
Do we have any other thoughts from the chat?
Robotown.
Or corrections? Yes?
Just people
There's,
agreeing.
yeah,
and
there's a lot of
disagreeing
agreeing, a lot of
vehemently.
disagreeing. There's
That they want to see Shaw and Alt 2 together?
Probably just like
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
Well, it'll be hard
Lol.
though, because Alt 2 is already with
No.
3. They're
These
busy.
are those are a bunch of the responses.
Yeah, but that is a great point.
What's the point?
So the point was that Alt Portia is with Alt Boone. Mm-hmm. But if Sarah is now evil, Alt Boone can have Sarah,
Ooh.
and then Shaw can have Alt
Oh.
Portia.
Yeah.
Is that how it works? We're just gonna like trade people and like, you get her, you stop being evil
The
now.
thing is, Alt Portia and Alt Boone are together out of, I want to say mostly like
Convenience?
Convenience, yeah.
And so they're both in love with other people, right? Alt Boone had Sarah who got sick and died.
Yeah, they're both essentially but they both had that.
Yeah.
So they can convene.
The four of them
Yes.
will move together
Okay.
to their own planet.
What? That would be great.
Sister wives.
Yeah.
They just
Sister
have their own
friends.
spin-off show.
Yeah.
Dark Matter, season 4, Sister Wives.
Yeah.
Dark matters of the wives.
Uh-huh.
I got it.
Dark matrimony, guys.
Damn it.
Yes.
Always.
Desperate Dark Matter Wives. Okay.
Okay. Any other predictions from the peanut gallery?
Oh man,
That's
Nah.
not the chat. That's you.
it's not the
Yeah,
last.
no, I.
Okay. I just want to be
mean,
clear
I'm-
that I would never call the chat that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
respect them.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah.
I'm Linus. Okay, we can wrap this up now. We're
Yeah.
done. We're done. That's the last joke.
All the
That's
bits.
the last joke. Hi guys, thanks for joining us here on AfterBuzz TV. I'm your host Tauri Miller, and thanks for joining us every week here every Sunday at 4 o'clock Pacific Daylight Time.
I also want to throw in that if you love the Anders Lives shirts, they are available as long as Anders lives. Please find them at redbubble.com/people/OTTs. That's OTTEES. Also, the Killjoys After Show is not coming up next. It's been postponed until tomorrow night. Check Twitter. I'll announce it or something. But until next week, Natalee, where can people keep up with you?
You guys can find me at Natalee Dyer, NATALEEDYER, on all social media platforms and also on Welcome to the Dungeon Hole, which Andrew will tell you more about.
It's a podcast with D&D people. We got a Twitter and a SoundCloud, and check us out on iTunes. Welcome to the Dungeon Hole for all your D&D needs. I'm Andrew Mena. You can find me on Instagram at @TheAndrewMena or on Twitter at @AndrewMena. I do stupid sounds.
Okay.
I do smart sounds
Ooh.
at Tauri J. You can find me at Tauri J, TAURIJAY. That's on Twitter and Instagram. You can also find me on a podcast called Missing Out. It is me and the Lex Michael. We talk about, it's a retrospective on media, music, movies, television, and we share
it?
things we love. Also, those Anders Lives things are on Redbubble. If you go to redbubble.com/people/OTTs, you can find those and also other nerdy shirts. That's Redbubble. OTTs, your OTP.
I'm Yael Tygiel everywhere at Yael Tygiel. That's YAELTYGIEL. Yep. See you next week.
Bye, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Sarah's got a body.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.